welcome to Kanchi TV once again. Thanu सारे ने एक बारी फिर Spurgeon Homeopathy Nature's Care show ते जी आए नो. आज जिद्दां थानू दस्सिया सीगा आपां गेस्ट लेके आवांगे ते आज साडे स्पेशल गेस्ट हैगे आ डॉक्टर मॉली हंटन जो कि एक मेडिकल डॉक्टर हैगी आ in the UK as a retired doctor as well now. She's a well-experienced homeopath for nearly 40 years now, which is amazing, and she has also written a few books. She is based in Stourbridge. So चलो शुरू करते हैं गल्ला बातां ते नाल जिद्दां थानू पता है साडे natural heart practitioner Vinod Kumar ji आ. So a warm welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I would like to thank Dr. Molly Hunton for taking the time out and being at our show today. So Dr. Molly, would you like to give the viewers a bit of information about yourself?
Well, I've been practicing homeopathy in general practice for a long time. I first took it up in the 1980s and then passed my exams and went on to continue to practice in the general practice where it was very popular.
Okay, wow. Yeah, that's amazing. So how did you get into this homeopathy world then?
Well, yes, it's interesting. I often ask myself that actually.
Yeah.
But I think that there was somewhere in my family background where homeopathy had been used.
Yeah.
And when I received a piece of paper saying there will be a homeopathic introductory course in Birmingham, I thought, well, might as well give it a try, which I did.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, well, all these other doctors are here, they can't possibly be idiots.
Yeah.
If they use it and telling us that it works, I'll believe them. So we went off with 3 little bottles in our pockets, samples.
Wow.
There was aconite, there was arnica, and there was belladonna.
Okay.
And the first chance I got was on the Monday morning when I went out to visit an emergency child with terrible sore throat, really severe, and he'd had hallucinations during the night with a high temperature.
Okay.
And his mum said to me, she said, you know, I'm sick of him having antibiotics. He seems to get this sore throat every few months, and I would like to get rid of it. And is there anything else you can give him other than antibiotics?
Wow.
So I remembered the belladonna in my pocket and gave her that and said, let's pop one in his mouth now,
Yeah.
which he sucked.
Wow.
Give him one every quarter of an hour.
Yeah.
And after 3 doses, his temperature came down.
Okay.
So she gave him another 3 doses later on in the day, and another 3 doses the next morning. And she said, you won't believe this. She said, but he's been absolutely perfectly all right. And not only that, he asked me for something to drink and something to eat, which he never does. And funnily enough, I met her, a few years ago, and she said, you won't believe it, but he's 38 now, she said, and he's got a PhD, and she said he never had another sore throat.
That's
we think
amazing.
homeopathy is wonderful.
Look at that. Look at
Fantastic.
that. Yeah.
I was impressed.
Really great, actually.
So, of course, having that as the first time I'd ever used homeopathic medicines, of course, I went on to study it.
Wow, that's amazing.
And that's why we have spoken in our many episodes about that. And I will take opportunity about what actually Dr. Molly said in our own language to look at the viewers who are Asian.
Yeah. Good
And
idea.
first of all, I want to thank you, Dr. Molly Hunton, who is here and actually given a precious time.
Yeah.
And I would like to thank you. ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਮੌਲੀ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਜੀਪੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਇੱਕ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਹੋਮੋਪੈਥੀ ਨੂੰ ਅਪਣਾਇਆ ਔਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੈਰੀਅਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਤੇ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਇੱਕ ਪੇਸ਼ੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਐਂਟੀਬਾਇਓਟਿਕ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਹਨਾ ਕਲਾਇੰਟ ਐਂਡ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਦ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦਵਾਈ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਿੰਪਟਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਏ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਬੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ this is the main our main program awareness है ना to give awareness to the public about the benefit of the homeopathy and personality like doctor because I am very thrilled and very to be honest pleased to have her here.
That's amazing. So, Dr. Molly, as you know, in Asia community, homeopathy is highly reputed science, but not here as much, I think. So, as a doctor, would you still say you prefer homeopathy?
Well, I always used it whenever I could, because before I retired, there was always this association with the patient that if you and the patient agreed on what you wanted to do for the patient or get them to take, and the patient was happy with that, then there was no problem. But of course
Okay.
nowadays they don't allow homeopathic prescriptions of any sort at all.
Yeah, that's right.
And it worked really well, that.
Yeah.
Because often get, when I'm walking around the town going shopping
Yeah.
or something, I often get people stop me and say, "You won't remember me, but," and then they tell me some sort of tale
Yeah.
about something I did for them,
Yeah.
and prescription of homeopathy, and it worked really well, and they were ever so thrilled, and they want to thank me for it, even after all these years. It amazes
Yeah.
me.
And Savita, I will take opportunity to say here,
Yeah.
and there are doctors, medical doctors who are supporting homeopathy. One of the example is sitting right
Yeah.
now, and Dr. Mooley actually, and she is supporting homeopathy through his life, her
Yeah.
life. And now, if you look at that, there are some medical doctors, not in a big quantity,
Yeah.
but there are some who are supporting homeopathy as well.
I think that's amazing, and I think the two systems can work together.
Oh,
What
yeah.
do you think?
Easily.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
So, other question people always want to know is homeopathy safe, and are there any side effects?
Yeah, I've never come across any side effects. Never.
Oh, okay.
Unlike conventional medicine, where the patient would come in and say, "I'm not taking these again.
Yeah.
They're really upsetting me," whatever, the blood pressure tablets or
Oh,
whatever.
yes.
And never ever with that, with homeopathy, never.
Oh, wow.
And that's the sole principle of the aim of the Hahnemann, founder of the homeopathy. When he actually invented homeopathy,
Yeah.
that was the first actually reason behind his mind that there are a lot of side effects during the conventional medicine. Even though I will take opportunity here again, the conventional medicines don't have a name.
Yeah.
It was always called Western medicine or English medicine that time.
Yeah.
And homeopathy founder Hahnemann
Yeah.
actually given the allopathy name to the science.
Yeah, well, Harlem had a really hard time
Yeah.
because in the days when he qualified in medicine, virtually the only treatment was arsenic
Yes,
and various heavy metals and so on, which were very toxic.
very toxic.
And later on in life, when he moved to Paris particularly, he spent a lot of his time detoxifying people from the treatment they'd had for syphilis and so on. So.
Yeah, that's it. And ਜਿਹੜਾ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਮੌਲੀ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਫਾਊਂਡਰ ਆਫ ਹੋਮੋਪੈਥੀ ਹਨੀਮਨ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਜਦ ਆਰਸੈਨਿਕ ਇੱਕ ਦਵਾਈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਟੌਕਸਿਕਸ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕਰਦੀ ਸੀ ਬੋਡੀ 'ਚ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਡਾਕਟਰਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਉਹ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ, ਤਾਂ ਹਨੀਮਨ ਵਾਜ਼ ਰੀਅਲੀ ਅਪੋਜ਼ਿਟ ਵਿਊ ਔਨ ਦੈਟ ਐਂਡ ਹੀ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਹੈਲਪਡ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਈ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੈਲਪ ਕੀਤੀ ਆਰਸੈਨਿਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਈਡ ਇਫੈਕਟ ਹੋਏ ਸੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਸੋ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਸਮਹਾਉ ਹੋਮੋਪੈਥੀ ਇਜ਼ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਬੇਸਡ ਔਨ ਵੀ ਕੈਨ ਸੇ ਕਿ ਇਹਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਈਡ ਇਫੈਕਟ ਹੈ ਆਲਮੋਸਟ ਨਿਲ।
Okay.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's the right remedy is not chosen properly or something like that,
Yeah.
and that sometimes gives aggravation. But it doesn't. We cannot or ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੇ ਕਿ ਉਹ side effect ਆ,
Yeah.
ਹੈ ਨਾ? So side effect is ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ. There are almost
I've
none.
never ever come across any side effects.
Yeah.
Never.
Look
It
at-
either works or it doesn't work. There's nothing in between.
Look at that.
Wow.
And ਸਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ father, my father always used to say that in our communities, particularly in Punjabi, what he says to in Punjabi that homeopathy ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਓਗੇ ਜੇ ਇਹਦਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਤਾਂ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ। What it means that if you try homeopathy, there is no side effect. If it didn't give you benefit, it doesn't give you any side effect. So on that point, you can try homeopathy.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh, absolutely. and the same as if you've got a small child. I mean, in conventional medicine with a baby, you've got to have a minute dose of something.
Yeah.
Or you've got to have a small dose for a child and a bigger dose for an adult.
Okay.
And you might have a woman who is very small and should really have a small dose. But no, if you're adult, you get the dose, due to age. It's not.
Yeah.
But in homeopathy, it's giving somebody some information into the body, which the body deals with. It's not due to chemistry, the reaction. So if you put some homeopathic medicine under the tongue, it sends out messages to the brain, and the brain, if it's correct, will alter things in the brain which is healing it. So it'll either stop certain aspects of the immune system working or encourage other aspects of the immune system to work, so that the balance is settled.
Wow.
And that's the homeostatist actually, the word homeopathy come.
Yeah.
And that's why, and look at that, Savita, I want to tell the viewers of the Kankshi TV in Punjabi that what Dr. Molly is saying that ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਛੋਟੀ ਛੋਟੀ ਗੋਲੀਆਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਮੂੰਹ 'ਚ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀਭ ਦੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਉਹ ਸਿਗਨਲਸ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਬ੍ਰੇਨ ਨੂੰ ਐਂਡ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ ਔਰ ਲੁੱਕ ਐਟ ਦੈਟ ਕਿ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਯੰਗ ਹੈਗੇ ਹਾਂ, ਵੀ ਆਰ ਅ ਵੈਰੀ ਯੰਗ ਇਨ ਹੋਮਿਓਪੈਥੀ ਫੀਲਡ ਇਨ ਸੈਕਟਰ ਐਂਡ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਲਰਨਿੰਗ ਅ ਪਰਸਨੈਲਿਟੀ ਲਾਈਕ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਮੋਲੀ. And look at the principle, and look at the homeopathy principle, nature's principle it's called, and it's a law of nature. And when the Dr. Molly is saying something, is an experience, is a whole institute behind her experience. 40 years.
40 years
look
is
at
a
that.
lot.
And ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਿ 40 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਮਿਓਪੈਥੀ ਨੂੰ ਕੈਰੀਅਰ ਨੂੰ ਅਪਣਾਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਔਰ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਨਾਲ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ. So it doesn't. This science is not only belongs to non-medical doctors. It also belongs to medical doctor too.
Although most of the time they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Their mindset sometimes. Dr. Molly, is really great actually. Yeah.
So Dr. Molly, what are the interests in general practice other than homeopathy?
Oh yes, I was also. I did a lot of gynecology.
Oh wow!
Because being a woman, it automatically attracts people with ladies' problems.
Okay.
So I got to know quite a bit about it, and I also got to know a bit about the homeopathic treatment of these gynecological problems too, and it really works. And also, I had infertility was another problem. I had one lady who had been seen at big local hospital for years with infertility, and they just said, we can't find anything. You're perfectly all right, your husband's perfectly all right, we don't know what it is that's causing the problem. So I asked her to tell me about herself, and she said, I've not really had any illnesses in my life, nothing serious. So I said, well, what about the family?
Yeah.
Mother? No, she was fine. Father? She said, now my father died when my mother was pregnant with me. So I said, well, what was the problem? She said, he died of TB. So I gave her tuberculinum.
Yes, one of the homeopathy medicine.
Yeah, for they call it TB miasm. Right, and within 3 months she was pregnant.
Wow.
And none of the doctors had asked her anything about her family history because they didn't think it would be relevant.
Okay.
So that was a good start.
It was definitely.
Yes, to me to have people who were interested, and then consequently I came across lots of endometriosis. Now, when I qualified, nobody knew anything about it because it hardly existed, and it has escalated in a huge amount. There's an enormous amount of it nowadays. So the problem is, of course, how to treat it from the conventional point of view, because there isn't any treatment for it. But I sat and thought about it and started giving patients homeopathic remedies, and they started to feel better, and they started to lose some of the symptoms, the pain particularly. And I started to wonder why they were doing it. Then I came across a paper written by some doctors about looking at biopsies of the peritoneum, that's the lining of the abdominal cavity, while people were having operations for other things. Take a little bit, look at it under the microscope, and they found that people who were very healthy absorbed all the blood that had been sent back through the fallopian tubes onto the ovaries, which was normal. But normal people just reabsorbed it. But people with endometriosis did not. So there was a problem in the peritoneum. And the thing that sits on the peritoneum, of course, is the gut.
Yes.
And the gut was a problem with the biome being wrong. That's the lining of the gut and all the bacteria and so on. And it turned out that most of these people have had a lot of antibiotics. And the common thing that they had them for was childhood infections like recurrent throats, recurrent urinary tract infections, and acne.
That's very interesting.
So what we did was try to put the biome right by treating that, by putting them on diet, particular diet, which was no sugar basically. Your biome is the balance of bacteria in your gut.
Oh wow.
And if the balance is off or wrong, you're ill. And actually the biome was, invented's not the right word, but was first described by a homeopathic doctor in the London Homeopathic Hospital in 1920. So these doctors who think that they've discovered the biome are wrong.
Yeah.
What he did was took stool samples from patients when they were first admitted, and then took them again once they'd had the homeopathic treatment and they were better.
Okay.
And they were different. So he worked out that this balance of bacteria in the gut was what was making people ill or what was stopping them getting better.
I see.
So unfortunately it's taken ordinary doctors 100 years to accept the biome as a possibility of a problem. So it's very important that if you've got any of these sort of problems that you put your biome right, especially if you've had antibiotics.
Yeah.
So that means no sugar and some live bacteria that way.
In the saliva, yeah. It's, my father always used to say these things, and my father is always, because in India, in Ayurveda, is always actually intestine is the factory of our nutrition.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why we have to look at that side of the, and homeopathic medicines and the homeopathy philosophy as well as theory as well as practical, it makes sense actually.
Yes.
And look at that, is 100-year old ago. The homeopathic doctor actually invented this one.
Wow.
Oh, but of course it's ignored because it's not in conventional medicine.
Yeah, it's not, because it's not conventional medicine research.
Yeah.
That's why they sometimes ignore. And it's really sad, but it's happened sometime. And look at that, how Dr. Molly is saying about this one, that jad a practice ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਗੈਨਕੋਲੋਜੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਸਬਜੈਕਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਸਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਲਾਈਨ ਵਿੱਚ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਪਾਰਟ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਹੋਮੋਪੈਥਿਕ ਨੂੰ ਐਨਹਾਂਸ ਕੀਤਾ, ਉਹਨੂੰ बढ़ाया, और ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਿਮਾਰੀਆਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕਨਵੈਨਸ਼ਨਲ ਮੈਡੀਸਿਨ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਸਟਰਗਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਟੂ ਡਾਇਗਨੋਸ, or diagnose nahi ho pandi. There are many few conditions where doctors are struggling to diagnose, and the sometime patient is nowhere and he is looking to answers. And in that way Dr. Molly told us ki kidda unhone ek history leke, parent di history leke, है ना, go back to the history of the father and mother and find out cause, है ना. और जड़ा टीबी मियाज़म जड़ा इन्होंने शब्द लिया, actually is a constitution, is a nature, body type. It's become TB miasm, and that's why in homeopathy we actually treat according to the person. And everybody is different. Okay, and I'm taking an opportunity here from Dr. Molly that I'm young and learning homeopathy, and experience like when you give this is, we also need it as the new generation who adopting homeopathy as a career, need this type of clinical practice of the homeopathy.
Definitely, I would say yes.
And nutrition is the also, well, while we are talking to Dr. Molly while coming over here, and I'm a little bit amazed about that. That nutrition also play a very important role, and some conventional medicine, and there is no philosophy about that.
No, that's something I would like to add here, because we're talking about nutrition. I might as well ask it. So Dr. Molly, what's your view about the diet nutrition? Is it really important?
It's desperately important.
Because people don't focus on that.
No, it's a shame that. But there's enough information from conventional medicine about what we should and shouldn't eat, really, isn't there? I mean, we all know we shouldn't eat loads of sugar because of diabetes.
Diabetes.
Yeah, mainly. And there's an absolute huge epidemic of diabetes.
But it's also impact on the normal healthy human as well. And that's why especially the white refined sugars. And this is we are talking about before this program, and we have talked about there is a saying, jaisa an vaisa man. There is a spiritual saying in India that whatever you eat, you are and you're thinking, and you're thinking like that, and you think like that. It's all dependent, and human, actually all our human body and illness is actually based on the nutrition diet. And this is a very important factor.
Well, it always makes me think that in conventional medicine, if you are a bacteriologist, a microbiologist, and you want to grow bacteria and viruses, you grow them on sugar.
Look at that, this point. So that's, but they didn't look at the side effect of that. There are some wrong food actually make you ill. So wrong food diet habit, है ना, जिदा साडे हर्बलिज्म या साडे पुरानी जिहड़ी सेइंग हैगी आ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਆਂਦਾ ਆ कि जे थोड़ा खाना ठीक नहीं होएगा तो तुसी भी healthy नहीं हो
हाँ
सकते.
जी.
So if your food is not correct,
Yeah.
and you will be never be healthy.
That's
So
right.
that's another.
Well, the most important organ in your body is your brain, because it governs everything.
Wow.
But the next most important organ is your biome. And it seems such a shame that doctors not paid any attention to it ever.
Yeah.
And the other problem is that, of course, doctors are not taught nutrition at medical school.
And this is
Okay.
which is lies in the
wrong.
gut.
Yeah.
And
Because there are nutritionists and dietitians to do it for them. So
Yeah.
And that's why Dr. Molly written a wonderful book.
I was about to say, I'll take this moment to
Yeah.
show the audience. Dr. Molly has wrote a wonderful book,
Yeah.
which is called Life is a Game of Consequences. Everything's in the name. It's amazing, the name you've given the book. So it's absolutely amazing.
And she given me this book, and when I look at the underneath one actually tagline and the title, I like the title, and then how and why we become ill. And this is the tagline. When as soon as she given me, and I read that one, and this is actually home, not even the ordinary and the member of public need to know, but this is the medical community should know as well.
Yes.
ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਇਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬੁੱਕ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਆਊਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਮੌਲੀ ਨੇ, ਆਪਣਾ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਆ, 40 year experience of homeopathy, as well as if we add it, number will go up as a medical doctor too.
Yes.
So ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਬੁੱਕ ਵਿੱਚ, how and why we become ill, ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਔਰ ਕਿਉਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਿਮਾਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. ਔਰ this book probably, and I actually tried, ਮੈਂ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਬੁੱਕ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਆਮ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ. ਡਾਕਟਰ ਮੋਲੀ, I will try my best to give this book as many as people we can.
Right.
And
well,
this
if people want a copy,
Yeah.
you can get it from Amazon,
Yeah.
or you can get the e-book
Yeah, of course,
of it,
of course.
or you get a copy from me via my website.
Yes, of course, and why not? We will just give an opportunity. If somebody looking for this type of book, they can contact Kanchi TV
Yes,
or
definitely.
Savita, and
Please
they can
contact Kanchi TV or myself,
and
we can get it to you as well.
ਔਰ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਕਿ
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਕਨਵੈਨਸ਼ਨਲ ਮੈਡੀਸਿਨਸ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਲ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ,
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਸਾਈਡ ਇਫੈਕਟ
Wow.
of the medicines,
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
as well as ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਰੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ, how can you treat those whatever side effect you have. So wonderful, and that's why
Amazing.
and that's why I will take opportunity here to associate myself with the doctor. I can never be up to like her, but I will take opportunity. This is our main theme when I introduce Pajrik into the homeopathy field and in the UK. And that's why the Pajrik therapy I have used to recall it. Basically, it was the theory of Dr. Mattei system, back to more than 100-year-old, and he used the word electrohomeopathy. And today she asked me about that, what is mean by electro. When I told the bioenergy, she already get the point.
Clicked
And
on,
that's why when I read the diet and the nutrition value in this book as a heading, I must read this again and again. And that's why my fathers and my teacher Dr. Satyapal's vision to bring vegetable sector into the homeopathy, and that's why with the help of German pharmaceutical, there is a one manufacturing unit who make a homeopathy as well as Pajrik medicines. They actually come forward, Dr. Molly, and supported me in UK 20 years ago, and they set and they have given a vegetable kingdom point of view, the importance of vegetable kingdom, because as homeopathy growing day by day, also bringing animal made medicines, swords and other part of which is the homeopathic as a sector, different sector.
Yeah.
So we actually, when working as a young homeopath, and we brought this Pajrik therapy system, what is actually basically means to serve those who are vegetarian, vegan, because they don't take animal made medicines.
That's right.
And that's why the Pajrik is already plant oriented system of medicine,
Yeah.
and is focused only one root cause of the disease, that is food. And Hippocrates always says that 500 years ago. Food is the best medicines
He did.
as well.
He did, yes.
And definitely this book will give a wonderful I will say understanding as well as evidence. And because it's not coming from the ordinary personality, it's coming from that medical as well as homeopathy.
That's
so
right.
Great, yeah.
So, Dr. Molly, another question I have is viewers often want to know whether you can take homeopathy with conventional medicine. So
this is one of the main questions in among the Asian community as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's perfectly safe.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, because conventional medicine is chemistry, biochemistry, and it works by levels in your blood and your body. And if your blood level falls below it, you have to take another tablet, or your blood pressure will go up. This sort of thing. But with homeopathy, it's like giving a piece of information into the body. So you put it in your tongue. It goes straight to your brain. 3 seconds is all it's supposed to take.
Wow.
Yeah. For 3 seconds, it's in your brain, and it's giving messages to the bits of the brain that are not working properly.
Yeah.
Or need some help or other.
Some help,
And consequently, you give the right remedy, you get the right reflection. So it's not going to interfere with any chemical.
Oh.
But there's a whole chapter in there
this book as well.
About side effects to conventional medicine.
And that's why that's why I'm telling Dr. Molly to our viewers that should know about side effect, because you are trying to treat one disease and getting few back.
Of course, the doctor then says, "Oh, you've got that symptom, have you, with that? I'll give you something else to counteract that."
And
so
they will increase the medicine, and list of the medicine will increase. And if you look at the homeopathy side, and that's why sometime when the guests like you tell the viewer something with the extraordinary points, and to be honest, this type of data, and then we have not even the Asian community following it. Is if you look at the homeopathy is the second largest system of medicine
in the world.
In the world,
it is.
And to be honest, is stated by not ordinary professional bodies, by survey by the WHO, World Health Organization, and it is the second largest system, and is why because nature play a very important role to the universe.
Well, there may come a point in global warming when we can't manufacture medication because it's dug up out of the earth, or it's whatever it is. There won't be any left.
Look at
so
that.
Then what do we do?
What a point. Look at that one, this one. So this is also make a homeopathy not only enhancing your body only, ill body, to treating them, it's also good for environment too.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Molly, to bringing this point as well into this conversation. Very wonderful.
And then you may be in the situation then where you have to go and collect your own plants from the riverside.
And we will become each and every person will become a homeopath then.
Well, yes, it must be easy to do. I mean, we buy stuff from the manufacturers.
Yes.
But they grow their own.
Of course, it's a wonderful theory behind that. They grow it an organic way, and they look at all the plants and and this is why Dr. Molly, in India, all household mothers are always have a knowledge of the herbs.
Very good.
And they give to their children. They give to that knowledge to the from the kitchen in the shape of food.
Very good. Yes.
Yeah.
When I taught medical students, one of the things we did was took a trip to Welida.
Okay.
Which is Nottingham.
Nottingham.
And they've got huge grounds, and they grow their own plants.
Own plants.
But of course, they use the anthroposophical method of going by the moon and the sun and the date and so forth.
Yes.
And the weather and so on. They take it all into account, plant all the plants, and leave them to grow. So the gardener took us round, and he said to the students, he said, "You will be careful, won't you? They're all very poisonous."
Poisonous.
Yeah. So if they hadn't realised before what they were, then they did. So we went round the garden and studied. This is this plant. This is that plant. And do you know what that? And then I would say what the homeopathic remedy was used for. And we came to this bush in the middle of in the middle of grass really,
Yeah.
because it was not near anything else.
Okay.
And it had this circle of rope round it. And he said, he grabbed one of them and he said, "Don't go near that one." And he said, "Why?" He said, "That's rust tox."
Rust,
He said,
yeah.
"You
So one of
only-
the
Wow.
homeopathy medicine.
Well, you only have
Okay.
to brush against it.
Yes.
He said, "You'll have the worst rash you can ever imagine." So they all went, and kept away. They had no idea about this
Really?
property of plants.
Okay.
So-
And that's why, Dr. Molly, we have went to the Germany and looking the spageric method of the making a medicine, and the spageric is related to the alchemy, the oldest process of making a manufacturing of medicines. And the spageric word came from the Paracelsus when he actually introduced the spageric into 500 years ago in the Europe. And what actually happened, the medical faculty and the public actually misunderstood the spageric meaning actually.
Yes.
They actually they think that it's a kind of making a gold,
Yeah.
not the medicine. So they trying to ordinary metal making to a gold is a process, but actually Paracelsus actually try to, and this is the point where Dr. Molly just recently said that there is a moon and the sun's actually impact on the plant.
Yes.
And the bioenergy comes from, and that's why the plant absorb that one in the night and as well as in the day, and that's why the spageric medicines took little bit longer process compared to the original homeopathy.
Yes.
And that's why it took little bit while to create or collect all the unlock energies of the plant into the essence, into the extract. And that's related, I wonder, and then it's divided into the combinations according to the systems of the human body,
Yes.
not according to the symptoms.
Okay.
The dose should be according to the symptoms, but the medicines itself actually according to the organ, and that's why we are talking about earlier. And that's when we look at this vegetable kingdom, the importance of the vegetable kingdom, and this is a great.
Amazing.
And that's why when we look at the meat diet and animal diet also make you ill.
Yes.
And that's why the concept coming the vegetarian side. So that's why sometimes some Asian community they are more believe on vegetarian and vegan, and that's why sometimes they hesitate to take any kind of medicine which is animal made.
Yes, that's
So
right.
that's why the plant origin system comes into that handy and take that one.
Yes.
Well, just by the by though, the people who live in Southeast Asia
Yeah.
don't eat cow or they don't have any cows, so
And cows.
there's no milk and there's no meat.
Yes.
And they have the lowest incidence of breast and prostate cancer and osteoporosis in the world.
And this is the
amazing.
other side of the vegan actually, if we can't take the
Yes.
dairy, and that's why in India I will take opportunity, the cow actually meant to be superior and equal to the God, because that actually give everything.
Yes.
And that's why every utilized of the cow's milk they give us, because there was no factory when the human
Yes.
created, and there were animal, and one of the animal is cow is the bigger, which one gives the milk. So that's why anyway, so nutrition is play a very important role.
Yes,
And
definitely.
that's why the vegetable, I think Dr. Molly is the plant-based medicines make the guts bacteria more enhance more into the gut function compared to the meat diet.
Yes.
And, they are actually not.
Yes, I think so.
It's not easily digestible as well.
Yes.
So that's an important factor of the nutrition too. Yeah.
Amazing. So, Dr. Molly, I would love to hear the answer from yourself. Do you think homeopathy is placebo?
That's I will before you give answer, I think Savita bringing the questions, and she is a pharmacy student too.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. And sometimes many people call her and say it's a placebo. So that's why she's taking a little bit looking answer from you, medical doctor.
Well, it's very easy to think that if you've never had any experience of it. But my experience is not placebo at all.
Okay.
If somebody doesn't respond at all, then I would suggest that it's the wrong remedy.
Okay.
But if you give
very-
somebody something and they have a placebo response, I mean, that's it. It is in the book about
It's
placebo.
book,
Everything's in the book.
Everything is in this book.
Hopefully, yes. It has different responses. I mean, you can measure. For example, they did an ordinary conventional medical trial whereby after operations they put drips up and the person didn't know whether there was a painkiller going through it or there wasn't, and the patient was in charge of it themselves, and they could alter the rate of the fluid going in if they felt they needed more or less
Yes.
pain relief.
Okay.
The patient wasn't told, but they'd agreed to take part in the experience. And of course, placebo was as good as the painkillers, so that doesn't say much about morphine and anything else.
Look at that.
Wow.
That's a wonderful
Yes.
point, actually.
It's
Yeah.
a good point.
So water have something in it as well. So,
Oh,
so
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And so this is, and she given me another title of the book, which is I was talking about that
Yeah.
water, and she
Yeah.
said, and I will looking to take that one as well. And this is the, and to be honest, Dr. Molly, there is a one thing when we treat children, when we treat animals. We can't say it's a psychological effect. They didn't know
No.
what
That's
type
right,
of medicines they are
yes.
taking it,
Yeah.
and there are people who, when they children take it, and when they heal, and I can't say that a placebo.
Yes.
It's because they don't have a power to think.
Yeah.
So there are
That's
some
correct.
theory, but unfortunately, the medical faculty or medical doctors don't look at that side of
No.
Yes.
research.
Well, the child who had the tonsillitis and got better virtually in 15 minutes, I mean, that can't possibly be placebo, can it?
Wow.
It's too fast.
ਦੇਖੋ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਟੌਨਸਿਲਸ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਟੌਨਸਿਲਸ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ ਔਰ 15 ਮਿੰਟ ਚ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਰਿਲੀਫ ਆਇਆ
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਡਾਕਟਰ ਮੋਲੀ ਤੋਂ
From belladonna.
belladonna or
Wow.
this is always throat medicine is a wonderful for a tonsil tonsil medicine.
Well, I knew he was right for the belladonna. Not only had I got an ampoule of it in my pocket, but when I'd been a medical student doing paediatrics, I'd been asked to sit by a child who'd been out with some friends and they'd picked some black berries which they shouldn't have done,
Oh,
and they
okay.
turned out to be belladonna berries,
Oh,
and it had eaten them.
Oh,
And I was told, sit there and watch what happens to this child, and
Yeah.
if anything happens that you're not happy about, immediately come and tell us. I had to sit all night with this child.
oh.
This is what part of the training, you see.
Okay.
Yes.
So the little boy was sitting up in bed, he was going, oh, look at the lovely butterflies, aren't they beautiful? I.e. hallucinations.
Yes.
And then he'd look at me and say, Granny, he'd say, so another hallucination.
Yes. And that's why it's
And he still had his
auto-
high fever, and he still had his red cheeks, and he still, had his sore.
and it's a spaghetic therapy also. There is a
Wow.
belladonna is a combination.
Yes.
And is a good for, it's called comes in a C group, and it's a belladonna C14, and it's a combination of 5 herbs in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's
So
it's-
what does that tell you about my paediatric experience as a student? I was bound to take up homeopathy later on,
Yeah.
wasn't I?
Wow,
Yes, definitely.
that's a wonderful experience actually.
Yeah. He was all right.
Sharing,
He
yeah.
didn't have enough to poison him, but he might easily have done, of course.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
That's another side actually.
Yeah.
This is a
Amazing.
wonderful, I think it's a great
It is. Knowledge is
learning
great.
and experience, okay.
Yes. So, Dr. Molly, as we all know now, you're a GP. I would like to know whether a homeopath is allowed to, can a homeopath diagnose?
A non-medically qualified homeopath. Well,
Yes.
I think
I'll
they'd
probably
be,
start off with non-medical.
yes, I think they'd be in a bit of difficulty because I don't
Okay.
think they would know how to diagnose
Yes,
necessarily, would
that's,
they?
uh,
It's
that's-
training, isn't it?
Yes.
Definitely, I agree.
Yes, a GP ought to be able to do it, of
Yes.
course.
Yes,
But
so-
non-medically qualified homeopaths are, when they're practicing their type of medicine and interacting with the patients, are really uninterested in picking up the homeopathic symptoms
Yes.
that they
Yeah.
could use for prescribing, but not aware of what the pathology might be behind
Yes.
it.
Yes,
That's correct.
this is the
It's a very good
Savita.
point.
We are talking about this one because sometime ki hunda hai ki what we are actually looking into, there is a true theory behind that. I am research into that because we come from the non-medical homeopaths. And Dr. Molly is coming from the medical homeopath, and this is definitely a plus point because she can diagnose and look at which actually homeopathy medicines can work better where the conventional medicine struggling or not giving or giving the side effect. But as Dr. Molly said one thing, and I just want to say, Dr. Molly, here is this. According to my father and my doctor, Dr. Satyapal, when we used to talk about that, and actually homeopathy principle also not actually the medicines and the theory is not based on the diagnosis as well. And that's why the ordinary homeopath who don't have a medical qualification don't diagnose, because the homeopathy principle actually according to the person,
that's right,
not according to the disease. So this will be the wonderful opportunity if the medical based doctor do the homeopathy, but unfortunately they are rare.
No,
but yeah, this is the right point actually. They cannot diagnose because they don't know how's the pathological work and what is the cause behind that.
Yes, and there are groups of homeopathic remedies that are fairly organ specific. That means that if you've got a kidney disease,
whatever,
something like that, there are remedies that actually target some of the organs rather than looking at the whole body.
Whole body.
There aren't very many, but there are some.
There are actually in Spajrik, and we have used to based on the organ of the human body, and that's why what actually this altogether is. For example, kidney, respiratory system is an organ-based medicine. So that's why there are some combination which work, and Spajrik is all totally actually based on that. Is according to the organ and organ function basically. So that's a wonderful, and this is a wonderful. If you look at this small,
this is my book of everything.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
All the remedies that, well, not all of them.
Because there are some points, our therapeutic value of the plant work on the organ, and there are on the symptoms of the disease. So well matched and given to the patient according to that. So that's quite amazing. And this was a
this is, I would like to take the moment to show you the this is a synthesis book, which is
amazing.
A wonderful
synthesis.
Well, actually, that's a bit old now, but it's available on computer now. Of course, the modern homeopaths all use a computer.
And synthesis means that the all together collected everything into the one.
And there's every symptom in there that a human being could ever have.
Wow.
And there is an Spajrik medicines called synthesis as well. It's a group of 56 plant in it. And and it's called repertory. This is a wonderful homeopathic data, I can say. It's a holy book.
It is. The first edition was published in 1912. And this is a computerized version of it, edition 8. But the interesting thing is when you really read it and look them up, all the symptoms that people think are modern ones are all in the book.
Everything.
Including things like premenstrual syndrome.
Look at that, 1912.
Oh, that's a modern disease, but it isn't. It's all in there.
Look at that. This is a point, and that's why it's.
That means that all these doctors all over the world who contributed to this were observing the patient really thoroughly.
That's why, Dr. Molly, I say is that is a holy book for the homeopaths, especially for the new generation. So this is a wonderful book, and look at that one point. Premenstrual it's a far back. If you look at the 100-year-old, and is already in the data.
Yes, but you see, modern doctors think they've invented it. I mean, not invented it, but...
Dr. Molly, you have a right to say anything because you have a medical qualification, and we are come from the non-medical, so that's why I think it's good. But of course,
I would also like...
There are many things which the allopathy and conventional medicine cannot treat. When you look at into the natural world, you can easily, skin problems. Look at the skin problems. And one of the data, and I think she have more actually experience than me, but what I have seen that they are struggling, and they are struggling suppressing it.
Well, if you've got, say, a severe eczema, I've treated one child he was 15 and he was in terrible trouble with his eczema, which he's had from birth. He literally, his mum said, he came out of the womb with it. And he was attending the professor at the Children's Hospital, and every time he had a flare-up, it was so dreadful. I mean, literally, terrible.
Oh dear.
He had antibiotics and steroids, so he'd had antibiotics and steroids, every
There's
year.
no choice.
And the eczema was still there.
Yes.
So I tried to find out what was going on for him. I mean, he hated it because he spent all his time, and he wouldn't go to school because if he had to take his jacket off at school, he wouldn't like anybody to see his skin. It was so awful.
That's what we are talking about here.
So he was on a particular type of medication which was supposed to suppress it, and his father said to me, he said, I don't like him being on this, and I think it's affecting his kidneys.
Yes.
So they gave him an alternative medicine to take at the hospital, and his mum said to him, I don't want him to take this. Look at the side effects. Terrible potential side effects.
List off the side effects.
Yes.
So we started off with giving him streptococcin, which his whole, scratch, bleed, discharge, get infected.
In the mind as well.
Streptococcin. So we had that first. That helped a bit. And then it was very difficult to find out what remedy to give him. So I asked his mum about his early pregnancy and childhood, and she said I had arranged marriage, and I had to come over from India all on my own. She said I was absolutely terrified, and when I got here we got married, she said, and then they got married in India, and she was pregnant in India, and so she came over and she had this terrible experience of being terrified on an aeroplane and having to come to a foreign country and so forth. And she said she told me that she thought that it was that fear and terror that had caused his eczema because he'd had it from birth.
Look at that.
Yes.
The root cause of the disease has gone to the
Now who's going to believe that in conventional medicine? They'd think I was definitely a bit... No. Anyway, so I gave him a remedy made from placenta. Well, from the coverings of the womb. And the consultant, the professor, wrote me a letter. She said, he has considerably improved, and I think I will allow him to continue with his homeopathic medicine.
Look at that. This is a plus point of the medical home.
Yeah, but this is only because she's got nothing else to give him.
Yes.
And what she did give him was causing terrible problems.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, that's a really good lesson to learn, isn't it?
And that's why, Sunita, in our community, there are many skin problems, and child and suffer from that one, and suppress, because of the conventional medicine, is suppress and it's become a side effect.
Yes.
And when there are many cases where we have helped and healed, and this is a very wonderful story actually.
Yes.
But there are many children that we don't realise in medicine are being damaged as a fetus, as in the womb.
Oh.
The next thing to talk about then is autism.
Oh yes.
Have we got time to talk a bit about autism?
Yes, sure, you can do.
Well, this is in the book as well, of course.
Yes. Yeah.
But there was a Dutch doctor who treated, a homeopathic doctor, who treated a lot of autistic children, and he got exceptionally good results with them. And the drug companies in Holland wanted to take him to court because they said he was bragging that he'd cured autistic children. Of course he wasn't. It was the parents that were saying, my child is better after having homeopathic treatment.
Well,
parents saying that,
Yeah, so what he did first was gave the parents a piece of paper, and he said, write down anything that happened to you while you were pregnant that you might be worried might have caused this problem.
Okay.
And he came up with a huge long list of things that happened during pregnancy, like being given medication by the doctor for blood pressure and taking drugs that,
during the pregnancy period.
Yeah, right. And then what happened during childbirth and what has happened after childbirth. And one woman had a video of her child the day before, 3-month-old baby, it's a little chair. And then the following day, like this. And the day before, she'd taken him to the doctor and he'd had his first shot of injections.
Wow.
So the conclusion he came to was that children who are autistic have their brain switched off by a nasty shock to the system.
Yes, it's a side effect,
Yeah, right. And if your brain is switched off,
your body will
Yes, but
respond.
then it slowly recovers, and then it gets back to normal. But it's not the normal that you were or would have been
Yes.
Well, yeah.
if it hadn't happened to you. And this is how autism develops.
Yeah.
And what
Wow.
he started doing was treating the children with homeopathy according to what the problem had been. So if the mother had had a medication during when she was carrying the baby for blood pressure, he gave her the homeopathic remedy with that. Say it was methyl dopa, for example.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so he would give methyl dopa
Yeah.
in potency, potentized.
Interesting.
And the children went through quite a lot of negative symptoms, but at the end of it,
Yeah.
they were a lot better.
Yes, lot of better.
He called it detoxing.
Yeah, early, I'm just saying about Dr. Nikunj Trivedi. He
Yes.
used one spaghetic medicine,
Okay.
and it's a wonderful help.
That's it.
And the parents come back and they say the behaviors change.
Yes.
And this is sometime, and that's why sometime ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਵੀਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਅੱਛਾ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਮੌਲੀ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਆਟਿਜ਼ਮ ਜਦ ਇੱਕ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਹਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਪੇਰੈਂਟ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਉਹ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਟਰਾਈ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਰਕਮਸਟੈਂਸਿਸ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਆ ਔਰ ਇੱਕ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਤਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਦ ਹੋਮੋਪੈਥਿਕ ਜਾਂ ਸਪੈਜਰਿਕ ਮੈਡੀਸਿਨਸ ਲਈ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਹੈਲਪ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਹੈ
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
and there are a lot of I think you
Yes.
told me 300 cases cured
Wow.
and helped by this natural medicines
300 is a lot.
homeopathy, yeah.
Well, it is a lot.
Yes.
And
But it's not actually accepted by the medical.
That's
no,
right.
well,
Again,
Yeah.
the
this is
parents
one.
were,
Yeah.
Well, I would.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
this
all.
episode has been brilliant, and I
Mm.
think we will need another episode, Dr. Molly. There's so much
We-
to talk about.
Yes.
There
yeah.
is.
So
Yes.
I would like to thank you so much for today. Thank you all the viewers as well. So thank you so much for watching, and we will meet you in the next episode.
Thank you very much to the Kanchi TV given us the opportunity and Dr. Molly to give a time.
Yes,
and
definitely.
Came here as a guest. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you, Sari Darshkana Jinane Dekhya. Thank you very much.